conducted 2 different studies in 46 different European countries, and they found that speciesism is related with 15 different group prejudice, human prejudice.
From prejudice to progress, understanding and addressing speciesism in the northern part of Cyprus. In this session, we have our speaker, Ziba Sertbay, and she's a social psychologist and PhD candidate whose work focuses on prejudice, discrimination, and speciesism. As both a researcher and activist, she explores how different forms of oppression intersect and how we can build a more just world for all beings. Her presentation will share research from Cyprus on how speciesism connects with other prejudices and how education can help reduce these biases. So please welcome Ziba Sertbay.
Thank you so much for introducing me. Hello, everybody. First thing first, I should say that as a Mediterranean person, it's going to be a bit hard for me to hold this microphone like this because I love using my body language like this. So I will try my best to hold it stable. As mentioned, my name is Ziba Sertbay, and I am working on speciesism in the northern part of Cyprus and how speciesism is related with other type of prejudices, interpersonal prejudices like sexism, homophobia, and biphobia, and so on. Here's my table of content. I will start with introduction, a very brief introduction about northern part of Cyprus. Then I will move on to the theoretical background of 2 of my studies. Then I will talk about my survey study that I just started to collect my data. And then I will move on to the non-formal training that we organized with the help of Vegan Initiative in Cyprus and its results. So, I don't know if you have any information about northern part of Cyprus, but I tried my best to give some different examples from different angles, actually, both positive and negative examples, in order to visualize what's going on in northern part of Cyprus. So, starting with eating habits, we Cypriots, we love barbecue gatherings. It can be a little bit exaggeration, but sometimes we started to plan our barbecue gathering from the barbecue gathering itself. So kind of this. And of course, as you can guess, eating meat and animal meat is center of these barbecue gatherings. And if you are vegan or vegetarian in these barbecue sessions, well, I would say good luck. Yeah. Another recent issue that is a bit controversial and different. Well, donkeys in Carpathian region is very famous, and these donkeys, these wild donkeys are the symbol of Cyprus, actually. Tourists are coming to Cyprus to visit and see them. They are bringing carrots to feed them. At the same time, the overpopulation of these animals started to, cause so-called problem for some farmers who are living around this space. The locals started to, being not happy and experience issues about overpopulation of these donkeys. When we look at the authorities, they are actually not doing anything actively to work on this issue. We just have Tashkent Nature Park, who is actively involved and currently running a project to solve this problem with the well-being of these animals, but I don't know how it continues and what will happen. When we look at to the legal example, again, it's a recent issue. Well, cockfighting is actually illegal in the northern part of Cyprus. However, one of the politicians came up with an argument, claimed that this fighting between roosters is a part of our culture, which I can say it's not. And he was saying that it should be legal again. And then, of course, other politicians against this idea. And while these discussions are going, a group of men make public speech, and they said that they want it to be legal again because they take care of their animals. Actually, they are the ones who has these type of roosters, and they want it to be legal again, and they want this fight to be happened. And interestingly, they are saying that they love their animals, and they want it to be happened. They even say that they are feeding these animals better than themselves. And after that, it didn't finish in here. After a few days later, they make a speech again. They come together and they said that they established an association which is called Indian Cock Lovers Association. Well, some positive examples from the activist perspective. We have Queer Cyprus, who is working actively on LGBTI issues, and since 2015, Queer Cyprus has a statement in their manifest that they are veganist, and they are trying to raise awareness of their members about animal exploitation, and they organize their events based on this ideology. And also, we have Vegan Initiative in Cyprus, which is established, established in 2019. And one of the founders of this organization is here with me, actually, Fezer. If you have any questions to her, please approach her. And they conducted a study in order to understand what is going on in the northern part of Cyprus based on animal rights. And they conducted this study in 2024 with 800 people. And they stated that in their findings, there is clear difference between animals. People are differentiating and dividing types of animals from the others. If the animals are outside of their table, off the table, they show sensitivity to animal rights. However, if they are on their plate, they see them as meat, and they prefer to use these animals. I brought up some example statements in order to justify this statement. For example, 75% of participants strongly agreed with this statement, which is saying harsh legal sanctions, including prison sentences, should be applied to those who organize cockfighting. However, when they ask their eating habits, a large majority of the people said that they, like 81%, they said that they prefer eat meat and vegetables together, so we can say that they are omnivores. And also, only 4.5% of people agreed with the statement that vegan diet was beneficial to their health. When we look at the interpersonal prejudice, I can easily say that sexism, LGBTI phobia, vegan and vegetarian prejudice, and also racism are the types of prejudice and discrimination still prevalent and have negative impact on our daily lives? For example, very recent study conducted by Hüsnü, she found that transphobia increased in the northern part of Cyprus in last 4 years. Moreover, when you look at the scientific data related with vegan and vegetarian prejudice, we don't have any specific study conducted yet. Therefore, all these information lead me to study the relationship between speciesism and other types of interpersonal prejudice. Well, I don't want to go into the details of speciesism to this audience. I just want to say that in social psychology, we basically divide speciesism into 2 categories. One, we give more importance to human beings than the animals. 2, we are separating animals from each other. This is how we identify it. And there are 2 different theoretical backgrounds that I'm using in my study. One is generalized prejudice, and this generalized prejudice basically saying that if I have prejudice towards a group of people, most probably I will have prejudice towards other group of people as well. And in social psychology, scientists started to go beyond of human interaction, and they included speciesism into this equation. And for example, Jaeger conducted 2 different studies in 46 different European countries, and they found that speciesism is related with 15 different group prejudice, human prejudice, and these are including both marginalized groups like Muslims or gay men, and also not usually marginalized group like large families or Christians and this kind of groups. And the second background that I'm using is interspecies model of prejudice. This model is saying that the word of dehumanization is itself is problematic, actually. Why do we use it and how we use it, actually? It's itself creating division between animals and human beings. We are putting human beings as superior to the animals with this word. And they are saying that if we are able to lessen the division between human beings and animal, it will be helpful to lessen interpersonal prejudice as well. Therefore, I designed a survey study based on these theoretical backgrounds, and I came up with this model. In the light of interpersonal prejudice, I'm saying that speciesism is the predictor. I'm not saying it's cause yet, because this is not an experimental study, but in the future I will say that this is the cause, actually. Speciesism is the predictor, and interpersonal prejudice is the outcome. So if the person is speciesist, if the person has higher level of speciesism, it will lead them to have higher level of interpersonal prejudice. And when I ask to myself how and why this relation can be happened, I come up with the idea that maybe possibly system justification beliefs are playing a key role in this relationship. And when I ask to myself in what conditions, in whom actually this relation can be higher, the answer was ecological dominance orientation, that I'll explain it in a bit. So I would like to start with system justification theory. This theory is saying that basically we human beings have a tendency to justify and see the fair of the systems that are influencing us. The systems like capitalism, patriarchal system, is fair and justifiable. This is what we call system justification belief, and it's mostly unconsciously, and it's happening when we don't see control over these type of systems. There are some types that I'm going to use. One is gender system justification beliefs. It's basically saying that we have a tendency to see gender inequalities in the world or in our society as fair, and also the hierarchies. And when we look at the relation between speciesism and also sexism, we can easily see that women and animals are viewed as inferior and face negative attitudes and treatment due to the patriarchal system and male dominance in society. And Salman and Dawn found that sexism and speciesism are positively correlated primarily based on the dehumanization of the women. So therefore, throughout this, I'm saying that this system justification beliefs will play a key role in my model between the relationship between speciesism and interpersonal prejudice. And economic system justification, it's similar idea. We tend to justify economic inequalities and hierarchies within the society. We think that if we work hard, we can be rich. But we don't see the barriers that systems are creating in front of us. For example, if we are a gay man or bisexual woman or trans man. So this is what we call economic system justification belief. And I believe that, again, this is playing a key role in this equation. And Hofford, very recently again, look at whether political conservatism can be related with animal welfare attitudes based on economic system justification, which they are saying that activism based on animal rights oppose both the current economic order, which includes oppressive factory farming methods in capitalist system, and meat consumption traditions in many societies like hunting and holiday feast. And when they studied, they really found that this economic system justification belief plays a key role in between these variables. Ecological dominance orientation, what is it? So basically, we tend to see the world in a triangle, like hierarchical triangle, and we put ourselves on the top of this hierarchy. We think that we are superior and we are more important than the nature and the environment. And this is what we call ecological dominance orientation. So the people who have higher level of ecological dominance orientation, they think that they are the superior. And I believe that in the nature of my study, this will, again, play an important role in my model. When I look at the preliminary results, as I said earlier, I just started to collect my data. I just had 49 participants until I come to Luxembourg. And the first results showing that there is a significant relationship between speciesism and sexism, transphobia, vegan prejudice, vegetarian prejudice, and racism, but not homophobia and biphobia. And I also see that the most powerful system justification belief, which plays a key role in this relation, is the economic system justification belief, then gender system justification belief, but seems like general system justification beliefs are the weak ones until now. But it's very early to conclude about something with 49 participants. I am aiming to have around 350 participants. And the second study that we conducted is non-formal training. As I said earlier, I believe that speciesism is the core prejudice. And if we work on that, we can also solve other types of prejudice between human beings. That is why we conducted kind of research, experimental research based on non-formal training. This training was a part of a project called Speciesism and Veganism, funded by European Union and supported by Civic Space. And Vegan Initiative actually organized this training. They were these activists led the training, and it was a full-day training with full of interactive discussions going on related with veganism, speciesism, interaction between veganism and other type of prejudices, and it led participants to question themselves based on the topic, and they were able to question themselves. And then I make a measurement here, pre and post test. I used a pre and post test methods to determine whether will be any change on their speciesist attitudes before and after. And also, I look at whether there will be any change for the attitudes towards vegans or vegetarians. And when we look at the results, speciesism significantly changed after the training. So they were more speciesist before the training, but after the training, their species levels increased significantly, actually. And also, when we look at the ecological dominance orientation aspect, and again, I found a significant effect of the time on ecological dominance orientation, which means that their ecological orientation reduces after this training. When I look at the attitudes towards vegans and vegetarians, I couldn't find any significant change before and after, but I look at whether there is any difference between the participants when they are vegetarians, flexitarians, or omnivores. And I found that actually, when we look at the attitudes towards vegans, there is a significant difference between the vegetarians and the meat eaters, which means that vegetarian participants were more positive towards vegans when compared to the meat eaters. And after that, last but not least, I called participants after a month later, and I asked them if there is any behavioral change, whether anything changed in their lives after the training. And they said that they started to check cruelty-free labels in the cosmetic materials that they are buying, also cleaning products. 10 out of 11 participants said that they started to be more careful about what they are buying after the training. And these are my references. Thank you so much. If you have any question, I'm happy to answer.
Amazing. And if you have questions, I can bring the microphone over you. Thank you very much.
So this is a bit of a technical question.
Okay.
I'm also familiar with the concept of social dominance orientation.
Okay.
And my question is, did you look at any correlations or connections between the etiological dominance orientation and the social dominance orientation?
Yes.
And do you think the interventions usually used against the social dominance orientation can be useful for the vegan movement?
Yes. Actually, many studies I read, they were using social dominance orientation, and I especially didn't use social dominance orientation and choose to use ecological dominance orientation because of the nature of these orientations. Actually, UNL and their friends find a gap in the social dominance orientation, and they said that this can be more applicable when we think about the relation between nature and human beings and the animals. So I believe that with the nature of my study, ecological dominance orientation will fit more. But there are many studies which are saying that social dominance orientation has a moderator role in this kind of relations.
We can have more questions. Also, we had online participants, so if there were any questions from online participants, we can also read them. Not at the moment yet, but if there are anyone, you can still ask questions.
Thank you. Thank you for this presentation. It was really interesting.
Thank you.
I have a question. I might have missed that part, but in
Yes.
your mediation model, did you actually conduct a study where you manipulated speciesism, or did you actually base this on associations or correlational evidence? And if yes, what makes you sure that speciesism is the one that is influencing general systems justification and not the other way around?
Okay, not yet.
Okay. So that's the theory you're working with and
Yes.
that you are trying to prove.
Yes.
Okay, I get
With
it.
the
Yeah.
help of interspecies model of prejudice,
Right.
I believe that speciesism
Yeah.
will be the predictor.
Okay.
And then after I finish this study,
Yeah.
after I collect all my data, and if I can find this relation, which seems that like I will find,
Yeah.
I will go and make an experimental study, and I'm trying to find a way that if we reduce speciesism, we will reduce the rest of the prejudices, and it will be the cause and effect relationship, but not yet.
Right,
But it is my
okay.
aim.
Okay.
The second study will be based on that.
Got it. Thank you so much. It's
You're
really
welcome.
interesting. Thanks.
Thank you.
We still have 10 minutes, so if you have any opinions, it doesn't have to be a question, you can. And also, if you want to add anything else, Ziba, you can
No.
also use the 10 minutes.
Not, I don't know. If there is any question, I would like to answer. I was very fast because of my excitement, sorry.
I perhaps missed it. I was more curious about understanding how you measured speciesism in the candidates that you were studying.
Okay,
Yeah.
I used a speciesism scale from Caviola, Plus, I add some statements from a scale which is called attitudes towards animals. And there are some statements like this one. Give me a second. Yes. This is one statement from the speciesism scale. Harsh legal sanctions, including prison sentences, should be applied to those who organize cockfighting.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. That was really interesting. Question about how do you select your sample? So you had 49 people, and you want more, understood. But how do you select that 49? What that does come from?
I started from university, unfortunately, university students, because there is a recent change in the regulations in the university. First, you should get ethical approval from your department, then you should get from the rectorate office. And because I couldn't get the approval from the rectorate office because they were in summer break, I started with the university students. I try my best to reach the university students from different departments, but to be honest, it wasn't my first aim to reach university students. I'm not saying it's not valuable, but my personal aim is to reach local people who are living in northern part of Cyprus, with different age range and gender range also.
Can I ask another question? How are you going to go about that? I'm just curious about the process.
Yes,
because
this is internet, throughout internet. Yes, yes. My survey is online, and I will distribute it throughout online.
Thank you.
I thank you.
Any questions from this part, maybe? Well, would you like to add something, or we can close slowly this session?
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.